So I'm about to bring up Jimmy, who is a tenant here. I'm sorry about that. So Kathy, who's also a tenant here at Pioneer Investments. And I just want to thank all the tenants who are coming forward and their bravery. And let's show them our love and support. And here's Kathy.
Thank you all for coming. Oh my goodness. Well, I moved in here February of 2020. Can you hear me? Oh, wow. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So I moved in here February of 2020. About a month into it, we had an issue with our refrigerator. It took a month and a half to get a new one. I was told that just be patient. It's COVID. We'll get it when we can get it. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with using coolers and ice. Well, I haven't, at that point, a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old. Big problem. Got ignored. Okay, so I just let that go. And then I learned from early on, like, you can't argue with people. So I just stopped. Little things I would fix myself. More recently, though, I want to say probably about the beginning of spring, we started noticing a horrific odor in my driveway. Now, I know the gentleman had moved out at least a year and a half ago, and nobody's been there to look at that apartment, do anything with that apartment. They put a lock on it. And it turns out there's a sewage leak in that apartment and in the basement here. That's gone unaddressed for at least a year now, year or more. And I actually spoke with another resident who lived here 6 years ago. She had minimum housing out here, and they had the same problem. He got fined, he was in court, they're in court all the time from what I understand. Not taken care of. Okay, wonderful. Now I have children. And over the summer, my daughter's been in and out of walk-ins in her doctor's office more than normal. Like, she does get ear infections a lot, but I'm talking once a week. I was bringing her to the ER. I talked to her doctor, and I told her, do you think it has to do with this odor? And she's like, it very well could. And my brother, who works for plumbing, he walked into the hallway one day and said, this house is infested with mold. I can smell it. I know what I'm smelling. I'm like, great. So since then, she hasn't slept in her own bed for months because I don't want her getting sick. And it's just reaching out to them, nothing. I finally did get a phone call, believe it or not, 2.5 years later, from the landlord yesterday. And it was, I'm not going to lie, it was a pleasant conversation. He did apologize for the lack of communication, but unfortunately, it took us doing the interview with Projo. It took getting this rally together for anything to be done. My grass just got cut for the first time in I don't know how long, yesterday and the day before. They finally started working on the basement sewage yesterday. When they did his porch, 10 o'clock at night, hammering and sawing, they don't care. They were in here till 1 o'clock in the morning working. Now, some of us have kids. Some of us have to get up at 4 a.m. I do not want to hear hammering at 1 o'clock in the morning. The biggest issue, besides the deplorable living conditions, is the lack of communication. And honestly, they do not care. They do not care. They call it, please stop the rally. They threatened my neighbor, said, oh, if you stop the rally, well, then I guess you're going to have to go. Go for it, buddy. Bring it. Okay? Bring it. So, yeah. And, I mean, I personally did not hear that. You will hear from Jimmy who he did hear that. But Jimmy's got no reason to lie, and I'm not surprised that that was said. I've seen text messages that he's had with other tenants that are horrible. Like, horrible. He's got a text message, I guess one of his people he works with, saying they're going to drag him and his kids out in the middle of the night if he doesn't leave. Like, and I'm sure everybody else has got horror stories, conversations back and forth. I mean, it's unnecessary. We're all adults here. This is your job, pal. You want to buy a bazillion houses? Take care of this bazillion houses. So, like I said, I did speak with him for a good 45 minutes, and he did own up to his lack of communication, and he's going to try to do better. But, I mean, I'm not going to stop anything because, like I said, if it weren't for Projo and if it weren't for this, if it weren't for us getting together, I don't think anything would have been done. It took them having to interview him to get shaken. And, well, good. It's about time. Now, a lot of us are worried about retaliation. Okay, and I'm sure that's going to come. I'm sure he's going to try. But go ahead, bring it. Try it. There are laws, and there are laws that will protect us. And if we have to come out with daggers at you, buddy, we are going to. All of us. I don't care anymore. I'm done. So thank you again, everybody, for coming. I appreciate it.